Hello and welcome back to another Tartan Talk Tuesday. I am standing in a wedding this weekend and it got me thinking about Scottish weddings. There's all kinds of different traditions for each different culture, of course, so I thought I would go into a little bit about Scottish wedding traditions. We are now launching full-blown into wedding season for the next several months, so I thought that it would be fun just to talk about weddings and the Scottish traditions. So of course, having a bagpiper at your wedding is pretty traditional. Oftentimes the bagpiper will pipe the bride up the aisle. Sometimes the entire wedding party will be piped up the aisle. And usually at the end of the wedding, we'll pipe everybody out of the church as well. The bride and groom and all the groomsmen and the bridesmaids and all of that kind of thing. And the tune on the way out of the church is usually a lot quicker and a lot livelier, and people are clapping and kind of creates this whole party atmosphere. Tartan, of course, is also another big one. Men can often wear kilts, but also there is a tradition where the groom or sometimes the groom's family will pin a piece of the groom's tartan onto the bride once the ceremony is complete to sort of signify that she is now a part of that family and she is now welcome to wear that tartan. Now, I've always been of this school of you always wear your father's tartan, meaning even once you get married, you don't necessarily switch over to your husband's tartan, but it is a really nice gesture. And of course, there are no tartan police, so you're welcome to wear whatever tartan you'd like. But the most well-known Scottish or Celtic wedding tradition is called handfasting. Originally, this was sort of meant as almost like an engagement. And some people treated it as a temporary marriage. They would have a handfasting ceremony. It was sort of a way for couples to test out whether or not a marriage would work between them. It could be for kind of any length of time, but usually it was about 6 months or a year. And at the end of that 6 months or a year, they could choose to fully get married or go their separate ways. If anybody remembers from the Tartan Talk Tuesday video I did on Gretna Green, there was a very long period of time in Scotland where anyone could marry anyone. So these handfasting ceremonies didn't need any special officiant, but the actual wedding didn't need one either. Nowadays, most people incorporate handfasting into their ceremony in a very literal sense, where they take their hands and tie them together with ribbon or oftentimes with tartan, usually the groom's tartan, and they actually just literally wrap the tartan around their hands, and it's part of the ceremony to signify the tying the knot. And that would happen during their legal wedding. Piece of the week. Talking about weddings, I'm going to go with this two-piece ensemble that I made for my mother to wear to my brother's wedding, actually. So this was the mother of the groom outfit. And it was all made entirely out of raw silk, including the silk modern Mackenzie pleated asymmetrical sash at the waist. And it also had the little bolero jacket with a little bit of pleating around the neckline, 3/4 sleeve. And it was a perfect outfit for an August wedding. So she could remove the jacket if it was too warm or put on the jacket if it got a little chilly. Tartan of the week. This week I'm going to go with Dress McPherson. This has always been a really sharp tartan. I always like ones that have a lot of black and white in them anyway. But the priest that is officiating the wedding this week is a McPherson. So I thought that it would be appropriate to have Tartan of the week this week as Dress McPherson. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next week for another Tartan Talk Tuesday. Cheers.